What's a continuous appropriation? When you're looking at California bills, you might come across the phrase a continuous appropriation. So, what is this? Uh, re- Recall that California law does not define the term appropriation, although we find it in both the state constitution as well as numerous statutes. Nonetheless, the Office of Legislative Counsel defines an appropriation as the amount of money that's made available for expenditure by a specific entity for a specific purpose from the general fund or other designated state fund or account. Now, regarding continuous appropriations, the Senate Committee on Budget and Fiscal Review provides a definition, and they explain that it's an amount available each year under a permanent constitutional or statutory expenditure authorization. A continuous appropriation is not dependent on passage of the budget. Similarly, if you look at the California Department of Finance glossary of terms, it actually includes two definitions of the term. First, it says it's an appropriation for a set amount that is available for more than 1 year. The second definition is it's a constitutional or statutory expenditure authorization that is renewed each year without further legislative action. The amount available may be a specific recurring sum each year, all or a specified portion of the proceeds of specified revenues that have been dedicated permanently to a certain purpose, or it's whatever amount is designated for the purpose that's determined by a formula, such as school apportionments. Now, note that Government Code Section 13340 sunsets statutory continuous appropriations on June 30th, with certain exceptions specified in that section and in a handful of other statutes. Also, Control Section 30.00, found in the Annual Budget Act, traditionally extends these continuous appropriations for one additional fiscal year. So the point of a continuous appropriation in California legislation is to provide a specified sum of state funds on a continuous basis without the need to go through the annual budget process or an annual bill appropriating the amount. So if you're looking at a bill, what might you find? Well, in the bill title, at the end of that bill title and after the relating clause, you'll find language that says, and making an appropriation therefore. In the Legislative Counsel Digest, you'll see language that says, this bill would continuously appropriate blank of the annual proceeds of a fund to do whatever is specified. In terms of the Legislative Council's digest keys, because a continuous appropriation bill obviously makes an appropriation, the digest key that's titled appropriation is going to be marked yes. In terms of the required vote key, it depends whether the continuous appropriation comes from the general fund, in which it's a 2/3 vote, or a special fund, in which case it's a majority vote. So again, with the digest keys, you'll see vote either 2/3 if it's a general fund continuous appropriation, or majority if it's a special fund continuous appropriation, and the appropriation key will be marked yes. Finally, in the text of the bill, you'll see language such as beginning with the 2022-23 fiscal year, 25% of the annual proceeds of the fund are hereby continuously appropriated without regard to fiscal year in an equal percentage. So continuous appropriation bills can be an important part of the legislature and the legislative process.